to help you with your aches, pains, and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild. The power to heal, the future of pain relief.
If you recently submitted a claim to the National Insurance Corporation, you also need to submit your financial account information to get paid. All NIC benefit claims are now paid conveniently through your local financial institution. To provide your bank or credit union account information, simply log on to the NIC website at www.stlucianic.org. Click the Financial Account Information tab and fill out the form. It's that easy. You only submit once. Ensure you enter the details of an open active account in your name. If you do not have access to the internet, visit any NIC office to collect a financial account information form. Help us to help you. NIC, for the benefit of us all.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knightsmed Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The CDC opposite the market, Anne's Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosley Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosley.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM. The man.
Monday afternoon to you, everyone. Thank you so very much for tuning into and staying with the Real FM radio station that comes to you on the dual frequencies of 91.3 for the north and 91.5 for the south. And our program, The Real Issues, with me, Shelton Daniel, your host and producer, alongside our technical operator, Alton Jaquan Joseph. Our program airs weekdays, as you know, from 12:30 until 2 p.m. on Real FM radio, simulcasting on NBC television, and also coming to you on Facebook Live and streaming live on YouTube. Hope you had a good weekend, an enjoyable and safe one, and hope that the start of your day and your week, your work week that is good, it's promising, it gives you cause for optimism, and that you will do everything in your power to shepherd it safely as far as depends upon you. Remember, the best type of safety is the one that is not selfish, that doesn't focus only upon you and what you think is your safety, but that also looks after others. Sometime on the weekend, it was yesterday, Sunday, I was up in the north, went by Pigeon Island National Park, and was making my way down, and I'm in some serious rain. Serious rain up in the north by Grosley, and I immediately knew that this final T20 international between West Indies and England was going to be rained out. There was no way. They could use Duckworth Lewis, they could use whatever they want. That had to be rained out. The kind of water that was pelting down. But the funny thing is, by the time I crossed Badouange, Marisil, and with shock, it's like the rain had mysteriously disappeared. The actual city, there was no rain or hardly any, very light, what we call drizzle. Because if that kind of rain that I saw up north had happened in the city itself, we'd have been talking about flooding, serious flooding. I don't care how much improved they the draining, that was some serious rain. But to my surprise, I'm getting a video clip almost immediately of flooding, and it looked like it was massive in Labrie. Labrie flooding. So it's like the rain hit the north. It took a little break from what I could tell in the middle, and then it gave the south a little bit of some pounding. There's something I've been talking about for many years, and I don't know why we don't grow, It's about people, and we talk about young people doing it. Yes, children will be children, young adventure, that sort of thing. A rain bath and so on was one of the most exciting, fun things we did as children. And it had to be some real heavy rain that you'd do it with. Meager, for you to go, baby. It had to be a real heavy downpour. It was thought to have some therapeutic value, some fun to it. And almost always after that rain, you would find the winged termites. Bête la pluie, they call them. I think it's the same Woodans, Paul Bois kind of thing that are in the wing stage, that when so much water comes, they're places of abode. Their honeycomb, intricate structure gets soaked and flooded, so they have to come out, So you'd see Bête la pluie after that kind of rain. I don't know if they come out at night. But it isn't about having fun in the rain. It's about people who seem to believe it is fun to wade in flood waters. And it's not any flood water I'm talking about. It's the brown water. Now, granted, the turbidity of the water, the brownness of it, coule sal, coule labo, could it be just mud? Yes. But not in the environs of a built-up area, whether it be Labrie, whether it be Vieux-Fort or Castries. The brown water may be brown due to so many other factors other than just erosion of soil and mud and so on. There could be a lot of contaminants inside there, including feces from pit latrines, from, all the garbage that we dump all over the place, and, chemicals that were not properly disposed of from garages and all those kinds of places could be in that water. People try to discourage your children and all from going to wade about in flood waters, especially the brown water. The brown flood water, the turbid, muddy water. L'eau laboud, l'eau sale. Not only because of the biological and chemical contaminants that can be in it, but also because the very nature of the water, that it is cloudy, that it is turbid, means the visibility through that water is very limited and non-existent. It's opaque water. You can't see what's there. You can't see what's coming down. You can't see what shit of old rusty galvanized is being carried and that just come and slice your ankle or your calf or something like that. You cannot see what old stove and what is coming there. Folks, we need to be careful with those things. This is not fun. This is not joke. This is a thing that involves disease. It involves injury. It involves infection. It involves a whole lot of things. So the wading about in flood waters, please talk to the young children. Tell them it's not safe. Don't do it. You don't know what poop water. You don't know what, chemical water. You don't know what is in that water there for you to be going and splashing about in it. Stop doing it now, folks. We have enough disease perils, and we know the kind of garbage that we're dropping all over the place. The thing we have about animals, once they die, we don't know to bury them or burn them anymore. Is to go and dump them in the nearest waterway, and that may be the least of our worries. Many of us build houses and we don't bother to build septic tanks because nobody's watching. We just, create a way that when we flush or whatever, it discharges into the nearest ravine and nearest river, because too much cost and too much trouble to build a proper septic tank and soak away and so on. There's a lot of that nonsense going on. So don't go splashing about in floodwaters, young people, and even older people who just want to go sightseeing and so on. You could be harming yourself in more ways than you think you are. Okay. So much for that. I remember back in late 1992, after the US presidential election of that year, which saw Herbert George Walker Bush, the elder President Bush, not the younger one. And if I remember well, that was the last time a vice president, a sitting vice president, contested elections and became the candidate of his party, in this case the Republican Party, and went on to win the presidential elections. And that was in the 1988, I think, yes, 1988 presidential election, where Ronald Reagan, having served his 2 terms, had to, of course, stand down, and his vice president, George Bush, went on to contest as the candidate for the Republican Party, and he won handsomely, easily, without too much trouble. All the talk that went on, who were the people who ran against him? I think there was a guy called Michael Dukakis, and his running mate was who? I can't even remember. To me, Geraldine Ferraro was with Walter Mondale and so on. I can't remember who ran with Dukakis, but it doesn't matter. Bush beat them and he became the president. And after 1 term, he was beaten by Bill Clinton, whom he had disparaged and ridiculed as the comeback kid and all this kind of thing. Bill Clinton won the election with Al Gore as his running mate. That is why I'm bringing back this thing about the 1992 US presidential election. Bush spent 8 years as vice president, 4 years as president. Not once did he express an interest in sending US forces, the US military, to the Horn of Africa, to Somalia to be exact, to help with some civil war that was contributing to the farming, that was hindering peace efforts, that was having the country in a state where it was virtually held captive to so-called warlords. The predominant one at the time was a military guy called Mohammed Farah Aidid, and they were feuding and etc. etc. But it's only when Bush lost the elections and he's outgoing that he sends US forces to Somalia to help keep the peace, to help take control of the distribution of aid to starving people, which the toughest guys were just capturing that and corralling it and conquering it and just taking over things, and so the aid was not reaching the people, and a whole lot of other problems. I would have considered it a good gesture, if he had done it in the meaty, middle, substantial part of his administration. But it's only when he loses the election and he's on his way out that he commits US forces. The first thing that came to my mind, I remember, that was in December 1992. A new Clinton is due to be sworn in, inaugurated on the 20th of January 1993. But Bush is at this point that he knows this. I said, this guy is simply trying to monkey wrench things, muddy up things, dirty things, quagmire things for his comeback kid, successor, the guy who defeated him. He's bitter, and so he wants to do, and so said, so done. Somalia turned out to be a real quagmire for the US forces. We all know the story of the Black Hawk Down, which was made into a movie about how they went in, and they had superior, like the Americans almost always have superior assets and resources and forces and all of that at their disposal. But the type of warfare, they got their butts kicked in the urban environment of the Somali capital, Mogadishu, trying to fight between buildings in alleys and so on, that the Somali guerrillas and so on, that's their territory. They knew, shot down US helicopter, I think took Americans hostage. It was a complicated thing that turned out badly, made the Americans look bad. The same way Vietnam, Americans killed a lot more Vietnamese than they lost, people there, It's just like they always like to make a lot more theater because there's always deemed to be a greater premium on an American life. So the 58,000 Americans who lost their lives in Vietnam, that gets spoken about endlessly. But Americans killed millions of Vietnamese, North Vietnamese. They slaughtered the guys. But of course, they could not gain their objectives because the Somalis used their terrain and their jungle and their environment, to their advantage to make sure that if all their superiority, they could not gain, the advantage. And they didn't mind throwing as many lives as they wanted. But this is what Bush Sr. did with regard to sending U.S. forces when he knew he was going out. And I kind of wondered, why now? Why wait now? Why don't you wait? Let Clinton do it, you all will have talks in handing over and transition and so on. But it's something, and I'm telling you, this is the same feeling I'm getting now. With Joe Biden, after 4 years in office, endless pleas from Ukraine and its President Zelensky. I have to tell you, I admire this fella, this short guy who I understand trained as a lawyer but was mostly known as a comedian and so on, who has shown himself to be, a real tough guy in terms of not flinching, not backing down, not fleeing and so on, standing up to fight for his country. I have something in my heart for that Zelensky guy. I don't care about him being Jewish or whatever it is. This is your nation's sovereignty that is under assault. Its territorial integrity, its right to self-determination, to decide who it forms alliances with. And nobody has a right to come and to crash into somebody's country and to be peppering and pounding them with missiles and killing their people simply because you don't want them to get close to. And I could never support that. So you see, this Zelensky guy, to me, he has exceeded all expectations in terms of his robustness, in terms of his determination to stand up for his country. I have that for him. But for so long, Zelensky has been begging Biden and the U.S. administration, which involves a defense secretary who's a retired military general, Lloyd Austin, all of them, to please not just give us the weapons, but give us the permission to use the weapons across the Russian border. Because a lot of what the Russians are doing, they're keeping their planes out of our airspace and they're firing long-range missiles at us. Their artillery batteries are not really in Ukraine, where they're doing the most damage. Their drone installations and everything. We need to be able to hit them. Americans keep insisting, no. The weapons we are giving you have to be used inside Ukraine, where Russians have invaded. Use them, the Russians that are inside Ukraine. Which to me, not even being a guy who has any kind of military thinking, sounded foolish to me. All things I have read on warfare say that the best way to defeat an enemy when they send a force at you is to hit their supply lines, is to hit their communications, their railways and the places where they're moving their supplies and their equipment and so on, is to hit their factories, is to hit their storage places and whatever else you call it. I don't understand all the terminology, but I could never understand that the only way you can fire is at Russians who are inside Ukraine, you're not supposed, because of escalation. And I wonder, what more escalation can you get from a people you didn't do anything? You have not thrown even a pebble at them, and twice in less than a decade, they have invaded your country. They have just stripped parts of it, annexed parts of it, invading again. They were heading to take over your country, to head towards your capital, Kyiv, and it was a determined fight back on the part of your people and so on that kind of held them at bay and all this sort of thing. But Trump has won the election, for heaven's sake. He's won it convincingly. Whatever you think about him, about his convicted felon and this and that, the fact is the American people thought, to hell with all of that. We're voting for him. We're voting for him big time. This is not even 2016, where he won electoral college, but he lost popular vote. He's won electoral college, by 1,000 miles. He's won popular vote by 6 million. He's won House. He's won Senate. He's taken everything. I mean, why not wait for Trump? It's only now you're leaving Biden that you're giving Ukraine the permission to fire the missiles over the Russian border, and the very same escalation that you were afraid of. You're not afraid of it now. I believe Biden and the outgoing Democratic administration, they're being nasty. I believe they're just being nasty, and they're being spiteful, and they're trying to make things as mangled and as muddied and as twisted and complicated for Trump as much as possible before they leave. I can understand why now. Why now you're unlocking the software and the key so that they can fire as far as they want into Russia and all this kind of thing. I mean, come on. You didn't feel that way all the time when Zelensky was pleading with you? Or you just want when Trump come in, just like Bush wanted? You know, a Republican, outgoing Republican did it to an incoming Democrat. Now an outgoing Democrat is doing it to an incoming Republican. And to me, this thing is just going to make things worse. And I had some discussions, and I've seen some of them on our own forums. If the American people have decided that they want Donald Trump despite all the pimples on his face, despite all the warts, despite all the carbuncles, despite all the things that you consider going against him, that they have endorsed him so much, you have no right to be obstructionist towards him. You have no right to be obstructionist. You see now, he wants this person to be speaker. He wants this person to be attorney general. He wants this person to be that. Unless it is something that directly violates constitution and law, let the man have his way. Let the man have his way. There must be a reason why that election outcome turned out that way. It must be. And even those who say they believe in God, I want to say, it must be the will of God expressing itself through the choice of the people. That this election, and you know I don't support Donald Trump, I've said so many times, it must be that the blunders that the Democrats made and so on, that it is the will of God being played out in ways that we do not understand. This is not a time to obstruct the man and to tie his hands or try to tie his hands behind his back and so on. To do that is to frustrate the will of the American people, and I don't see it will have good consequence on the world. And I'm mentioning this because we've heard too much about that war in Ukraine, the effect it has had on the world, on supply chain, on agricultural output and production and trade and supply and so on, and what it has done. And for now, when Trump says he has a plan for ending this thing within 24 hours, I don't know what he means by that. You understand? If he's going to force, how can he force Ukraine? Ukraine is a sovereign country. They can reject that and say, no, we're not giving up our territory, we're not giving up our land. He can pull out of NATO. They'll still be fighting NATO. It'll be a huge blow, of course, but it doesn't mean NATO will collapse. And NATO still has the United Kingdom. It still has France, which are nuclear powers in themselves. So I don't see, what that means and so on. But I have to say this, I vehemently disagree. About Joe Biden, the man who seemed like he could hardly speak. You could hardly hear what he's saying. It's just his lips that are quivering. That when such a convincing election victory has been won, by your successor, that you're trying to deliberately complicate things for him, in your last 2 months in office. It looks just as spiteful as I felt. In fact, it looks worse than I felt about George W. Bush doing back in late 1992, going into early 1993. And we all know how that ended. Why am I bringing up this thing about Russia and Ukraine and so on? I'm doing it because I'm the moderator of a forum, but I try to be very economical about my direct contributions to it. Because like I have said many times before, I know how easy it is when you are an administrator, you are the host of the program to which the forum is connected and so on, that anything you say comes across as being overbearing, I kind of have this little fear that maybe, just maybe, people may not feel as free to take me on and critique me and disagree with me, etc. It may seem, even though nothing has given that indication that they feel that way, that I'm throwing my weight around. I try to avoid that. Be a little economical. Let people express themselves and don't feel that they have to go with the flow of the host and the moderator and this kind of thing. Sometimes leadership, true leadership, it's not about always imposing your will and when you come to the room, nobody else wants to say anything because, they believe you have the last word and people don't even try to develop thoughts and ideas because they don't, of course I don't see that, but I try to be, like I said, a little restrained and economical. And I'm getting a sense that some people are so spooked and freaked out by the Donald Trump victory in the United States that they're beginning to have a certain disposition, a certain attitude, which I think is based on panic. That, they haven't said so, but you get the feeling that if Donald Trump could have come back, boy, maybe Shastley might come back in St. Lucia. And that's true, That's true. Sometimes we just see global, regional, hemispheric shifts. You see a pattern of elections, even if they don't win the government, but you look at France and you look at the far right and so on, how they call it, the National Party in France and in Germany. You just see that there's a move to the right that's taking place, I think some time ago in Brazil, it was saying that it was, the rise of Bolsonaro and all of that thing, that it was a move to the right. And you see those things happen from time to time. And so maybe there is the little fear among Labour Party supporters, which I think is exaggerated, which I think is premature, which I think is not really founded on some solid fundamentals of analysis and so on. That they're beginning to talk in a certain way, like, the person I'm talking about, I'm not taking a dig at you, but you're my buddy for a long time. But I see one of the people in the forum is like, everything the Labour Party does, that is not to his liking, that is not to his fancy, that is not what he would have done. He discusses it and presents it like it's a deal breaker. Like, oh my goodness, this is what Labour is going to lose on. So we mentioned some problems on the roads and how the police, oh boy, it's always that the Labour Party need to watch those things, and do what they need to do. And what should they put in to be commissioner, because that could cost them the election. Like, everything is being cast as it's going to cost you the election. Suddenly communications officers are not doing anything. And folks, I'm telling you, there may have been a time we said that. But maybe some of us, we just don't know the places to get for information. Because I'm telling you, this GIS NTN website, I think the administrator of it is a guy called Vernon Jean. I think it involves other people like Vernette Saint-Thomas and all of that one in it. I mean, there is so much government information there. Rihani Isidore, his output of information. All the time we are being reminded about the fuel prices and the subsidies and so on that are being put on cooking gas to help people, and $16 and something for the 20 pound, $19 and something for the 22 pound. Where does government get the money, monsieur, for it to be subsidizing the price of cooking gas for people like that? And at the same time, opposition wants the government to not charge any excise tax or to charge an excise tax that is chump change. And when we heard them making noise, people, we don't have to let this rattle our head. Now, I believe there was a little more equanimity. There was a little more psychological stability among people. But the moment Trump win the election, it's like everything going to make us lose vote. Yeah. First of all, there's no election that we've heard around the corner. But it's like a lot of us, we go in hysterical. We have to do that. Our communication, and they don't want to listen. All of a sudden, every government minister and representative has a problem. They don't want to listen. People are complaining about they send a message, to this minister or that representative, and they never acknowledge them or something. Just yesterday, a message that I had sent, and I think I can tell you that, to the Prime Minister for how long ago? And it's only yesterday I'm getting a surprise, I'm just seeing these messages now. I'm off island. We will discuss when I return. Okay? You believe I'm because of what I'm doing, that I have a temporary senator from time to time, a guy who's firing on all cylinders for the government, that I get special? You believe so? Not true at all. My requests for interviews, my messages to say, Mr. Minister, so and so, can we talk about this? Can you provide a statement or an answer from this? You believe I have to struggle like everybody else, whether it be Yadi, whether it be who, You believe Lisa Jawai, she has an easier time getting this? The ministers are busy people, folks. They are busy people, and stop this thing about when campaign, they were not too busy. They used to be at my home. Yes, that was during the campaign. Now they are in government. They have to deal with all kinds of things and all kinds of people, local and foreign. I mean, come on, let's stop being so childishly petulant, some of us. Let's grow up. And stop making everything a deal breaker like, oh, this is the thing, I'm telling you, I'll hold my vote and I ain't going to vote and I'm going to vote for them and they lose a lot of votes. And, come on, what are you doing there? Why are you going there? You're trying to terrify and spook and panic and gaslight your own party and your own government because of things which in the grand scheme are really small potatoes, peccadillos. You're going to want to talk about throwing down because, I listened to a discussion, but I'll leave it for the other side of this break because we're overdue for it already. Once you see Jaquan stand up and he's standing over his console and he's looking at his screen, you have to pass the ads, you have to let me pass the ads. Yeah, I'll do just that. This is the real issues.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild. The power to heal, the future of pain relief.
If you recently submitted a claim to the National Insurance Corporation, you also need to submit your financial account information to get paid. All NIC benefit claims are now paid conveniently through your local financial institution. To provide your bank or credit union account information, simply log on to the NIC website at www.stlucianic.org. Click the Financial Account Information tab and fill out the form. It's that easy. You only submit once. Ensure you enter the details of an open, active account in your name. If you do not have access to the internet, visit any NIC office to collect a financial account information form. Help us to help you. NIC, for the benefit of us all.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City C opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22 next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosile Bus Stop, Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains, and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild. The power to heal, the future of pain relief.
If you recently submitted a claim to the National Insurance Corporation, you also need to submit your financial account information to get paid. All NIC benefit claims are now paid conveniently through your local financial institution. To provide your bank or credit union account information, simply log on to the NIC website at www.stlucianic.org. Click the Financial Account Information tab and fill out the form. It's that easy. You only submit once. Ensure you enter the details of an open active account in your name. If you do not have access to the internet, visit any NIC office to collect a financial account information form. Help us to help you. NIC, for the benefit of us all.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM. The man, the
Alan
voice.
Shastney. Trump put more money into the American people pocket. Alan Shastney didn't put a cent into the St. Lucian pocket. I'm sure he would very hotly dispute that, to head Alan Shastney and Dominic Fede and others like them. My goodness, those 5 years they spent there were the most glorious years for St. Lucians. There was ching, ching, ching in their pockets and so on. Another person forwarded a couple messages to me and said, we need to be sharing this information in every manner: community outreach, town hall, social media, talk shows, news, and build an achievements web portal. Of importance too is the attitudes of the MPs, senators, et al. If they want the votes, they need to be pleasant to people and not avoid people's glances, nor should they display screw faces to people. Bonjour, and I hope all is well. I asked, and she mentions the name of a minister to relay the message also. I know you don't like to tell off your people, but I don't know if it's a matter of telling off people. I think we need to mature. I think we need to understand the difference between courtship and marriage. When you're courting is one thing. When you're married and you have a home with the mortgage to pay and you have a family with children to take care of and all of that, it's possible that some of the romance and some of the passion and some of the, everywhere I pass you, I have to hold you and kiss you all the time and so on, that you have to understand is a serious thing then how. What's the name of the song that says married life is a serious thing, it's a serious thing going on there. It's expenses, it's cost, it's nights when you don't sleep because children keeping you awake and parent-teachers meeting that you have to attend to complain that, you don't love me and you're not as affectionate as before and so on. Yeah, that may be true to a certain extent, but it's reality. And it's the same way with campaigning and being in government and having the real work, of the country, of the public service, of the roads and the electricity and the healthcare system and education and all of that to take care of, And at the end of the day, these politicians, these ministers, no matter how much they are insulted and denigrated and whatever, they are the ones who get blamed for everything. Regardless of whether it is out of their hands, whether it is special prosecutor or judiciary or things that, really politicians should not be involved in. We don't want them to be involved in, but when it goes wrong, it's there we hold responsible. It's there we put in flak on all the time. That's what I'm saying. There needs to be, and it probably won't happen, but a way has to be found to deal with it. For example, wasn't it on my program now I tried to go and look for it, but NBC had a problem recently where our Facebook page seemed to have been attacked and was wiped, okay? We had to build a new Facebook page called NBC On Demand, but all the old clips and news and things that we had there, they wiped, they're gone. Now, I have my own ideas about it, I could be wrong, but that happened to NBC after, from what I am told, there was a request from a certain politician or ex-politician who had gotten himself into a lot of problems because of his inability to control himself where young girls are concerned and getting into inappropriate contact with them, had pleaded to certain people at NBC or associated with NBC to take down a report on the site that he said was affecting his ability to find employment and to find job and so on. To the best of my knowledge, from what I was told, and I have to be very careful because there are some people, they're waiting for an opportunity to say, Shelton, going and discuss NBC internal things and taking NBC problems to the air. So let me stop it there. Let me not just go any further. But let me say that what happened to NBC, I'm not saying they're related, I don't know. But NBC was attacked and its website, its Facebook thing wiped. So I can't go back and really listen to the tape and so on, and I did not separately save it. Well, to me, Minister Virginia Albert Poyet was the minister responsible for immigration at the time, before Jeremiah Norbert was appointed, etc. She explained certain things about the passport because of the passport complaints that people were making, issues at the passport office, where Minister Albert Poyet explained why our passport is 5 years and not 10 years. And if I remember correctly, somebody correct me if anybody have the recording of that program that they can send me, where she said the reason why they are keeping it at 5 years is because of the amount of security upgrades and alterations and changes that they have to make continuously, whether it be from machine readable to biometric to e-passport to this to that, the other and so on, whether it is to integrate into CARICOM with CARICOM passport, whether it is now to create a passport that can withstand the fact that we now have differentiated citizenship of people who are born, acquired, and plus now economic citizens. So we have to have a passport that is robust without having the need to engage in a mass recall of passports because the security that you have in it now is not adequate for the upgrades that are required for the times. That if you were to have a 10-year passport and then you had to change the security features, it would mean that across a span of 10 years, you probably would need to be engaging in what is a very expensive process of recalling passports. Better to keep it on a 5-year cycle, and you can better make the adjustments that are required in terms of the security that has to be. I could be wrong on that, but I remember she explained exhaustively why it was felt better to keep the passports on a 5-year cycle of renewal than on a 10-year cycle. Once again, don't quote me on that. I'm not recalling. In fact, I tried to call her to ask her, look. And by the way, Minister Albert Poyet, I expect to have on the program sometime this week. So I'll ask her that again. Even though she's no longer the minister, I'm sure she has the recollection of those things. But there's a discussion that comes up and I'm saying, well, wait. This was explained already. And then it brings me back to my own point. Continuous reinforcement. Not because you said it last year, or because you said it so and so. We need to continuously get those things and remind people of them. Because it is obviously rubbing some people the wrong way. It is obviously irritating some people. Some of them your own long-time, trusted, proven, diehard supporters. Whether it is driver's license or anything like that. Do not feel we have said it, so we don't need to say it again. Say it again. And that is why I think the communications people who know where those things are archived, who know where those things are stored, who know where those things are recorded, get them, send them out again. Like I said, the NBC website was taken down. It's now NBC On Demand. If you try to go to the NBC Facebook site that you knew before, you're not going to get it. But there must be places that those things are archived. So let us go back to them and replay them and give reminders and reinforcements of them so that people who are being inconvenienced by them can know. You have issues with your diplomatic services where St. Lucians in the diaspora, whether in Martinique or in Toronto, are complaining, are embittered about things they are required to do and forms that they're required to fill, and how the process is tedious and how it is just bureaucratic and a lot of red tape and long-winded, they probably do not have an appreciation of the challenges and the difficulties in a world where there are so many people out there always looking to breach your security, always looking to hijack your systems to commit fraud. How careful, how absolutely punctilious you have to be in everything. People don't understand it. We have to find a way to engage with them and to make them understand why these holdups and the strict guidelines that are laid down must be followed. I mean, a passport is a very, we talk about the passport costing $300 and costing how much so much to apply the passport. People, would you be upset if I told you that the cost of a passport, the true cost of producing a passport, is not reflected in the fee that you are charged? The state, the country, the government is bearing a large part of that cost. A passport is a really intricate document. The very paper it is printed upon, the cover of the passport, the security features, what is not obvious to you, the ink that is used, the way it is put in the thing, so that even if someone photocopied it, they will not be able to duplicate and replicate and copy, all those things. It's like money. If you know the kind of investments and the kind of resources that have to be put into producing money, printed money, it's not just printed on paper, it's all the things that are embedded in that paper, special inks that react to certain lights, ultraviolet and all other kinds of light, and filigree foil and whatever thread that has to be put in it. And I mean, folks, if you know the things that have to go in money, a $5 bill is worth more than its nominal cost, that what goes into it and so on. It has the nominal face value of $100 or $50, whatever. But the resources that go into producing it, for durability, for security, for a whole lot of other things. Same way with a passport. You'll never know the things that go into a passport to prevent it from being, duplicated, and prevent it from being copied, and prevent it from being, all kinds of fraud being committed with it. The $300 they charge you is really just the nominal fee. The state, the government, whatever, they are picking up most of the cost that is related to producing a passport that is secure, a passport that is acceptable, a passport that is being deemed, internationally as being something that they can trust and recognize because it was issued by the state of St. Lucia. We need to understand those things. And basically, if I remember what it was, the minister was saying the very long cycle of 10 years, maybe just too much for all the times you have to go back and adjust this and change this and recalibrate this and do this in digital format and to scan it into that and so on. It's a very long cycle. Maybe you will have to tell people bring in their passports before it expires, create a recall of passports. Now, which is easier, to do something that you can bear letting it run for 5 years, or having to recall it at the 6th, 7th, 8th year because of so many security vulnerabilities that have arisen and been detected and so on? There could be other reasons. Like I said, I'm speaking just off my memory. Anyway. But again, I want to say, the communications people, be alert to those things and try to go and retrieve and draw out those things and present them again. Remind people, this is what was explained about the 10-year cycle of the passport. This is what was explained about the driver's license. This is what was explained about this and that and the other. I'm going to open the phone lines now for your calls, and I'll be reading your messages. The mobile number that you can call us on, you can WhatsApp call us on this number, is 487, I need not tell you it's area code 758, but 487-9849. I think that Jaquan always puts that up on the screen now, okay? So 487-9849, you can WhatsApp call us on that. And you can also call us on the local landline, 4533-911. So 487-9849 and 4533-911. Bernard Haynes, good afternoon to you. I know you tried to call me when I was on air on Friday, and I intended to. I think you were maybe trying to make a contribution through my phone. But when Terry Fenelon is there, there's just so much energy in the place. It's easy to get distracted. So I probably didn't. Was it Friday or Thursday? I'm sorry about that. I really have intended all weekend to call you back, but it's been a weekend of a lot of things on my plate and a lot of distractions. Good afternoon to you, Gaspar Henry, who says, well said, Shelton. Enough respect. Thank you very much, brother, as always. And I think we're getting our first call. Good afternoon. Real issues.
Shelton Daniel.
Hey, Saudi boss.
Mullah.
Yes,
You must not. You see, there are passionate supporters. And they have had experiences with certain things in the politics. So that paranoia, we not question that, you know. Sometimes they get a reflection of something that happened. If I have said to you that the Prime Minister ringing that bell in St. Vincent, even before
in Dominica.
when I got that video.
In Dominica.
When I got that video, almost instantly, I felt my shoulders drop.
Because you seen St. Jude finish yet?
Not only St. Jude finished yet. No. I remember it was done to me. Remember Kenny Anthony?
Yeah, the ringing of the bell endlessly in 2000.
Yeah, man.
In 2006.
And if the celebs and the people that recording shows and this and that and listening to me, I have not met the Prime Minister to tell him that in person, but I would tell him don't do that. It makes you feel that you're taking me for granted. Like, you know, that kind of papi showing me a kind of way. I mean, so he have done it once. He did a little thing on the market step. If they get me vexed, you know what I mean, that kind of thing. I believe if you're not ready for election, you have already said what you have to say. Then you have to finish. People with good common sense, and you might tell me I have good common sense. I know that you have to finish, but I mean, don't do that again.
Okay.
Just let it be.
Okay.
Now, Shelton, I don't know if you'll agree with me that perception in politics is greater than anything else. Would you agree?
It's very important, but I wouldn't say it's important than anything else. But I agree that perception is a big thing. It's a big deal.
That throwing you out of power. Your economy could doing well, very well. People could still have money in their pockets.
Right.
And if somebody sells something and give people the perception that this and that is wrong, and continue saying it,
Yes, it can happen. And I believe it has happened in St. Lucia already.
It has happened many times.
Yes.
I choose not to even mention the events that have transpired where you have lost elections there, and a lot of perception.
It's just like now, for example, with the government doing so much to correct the healthcare problems we have and to improve and upgrade, is the exact time when the opposition is on a rampage about healthcare is a mess and we're in a crisis.
Exactly.
And they keep saying it over and over again.
Exactly.
A CIP report has been tabled, but
repeating it. It will stick.
Yes.
I'm saying this, Shelton, because I'm seeing too many people that affiliated and a close alliance to the Labour Party, or ministers, or probably not even the Labour Party, ministers of government, friends in the Labour Party, they are doing things, in my opinion, and I'll say it bluntly, like flaunting in the people's face. I need not to mention.
Like who came what? Like Sean?
I said they are doing things that they're flaunting it.
Okay. Get you. Okay.
And I'm going back to the election of 2016. We lost in 2016, correct?
Yes, we lost 2016.
The press secretary at the time used to post a lot of pictures on Facebook with wine and on yachts and this and that and nice life. And I called her And I called the leader of the party, Kenny Anthony, at the time, and I said, Kenny, you keep saying to people that the economy is stabilizing, we are bringing it back together, but how many people are feeling it? But your press secretary is posting pictures of big, expensive wine and pictures of she and you on board yacht and this and that and the other in hotel over there and there. These things will come back to haunt you. These things come back to haunt you, Shelton.
So you really believe a picture of Jade sipping some wine, which the only thing we know is that it's red in a glass, that we don't know the cost of it. You believe that if that would have had a psychological effect on people?
But Shelton, forget the politics.
Okay.
Even though I don't want to mention certain things that have happened, but even in the opposition, I remember a particular person in the opposition party bought an expensive vehicle. That man have been buying expensive vehicles for his whole life. You forgot what the Labour Party did to him? Put out the perception that is the monies of government and this and that and living the good life, and others not feeling good.
Yeah, okay. I don't recall who, but I'm with you in terms of what you're trying to explain.
These things work,
Okay.
The economy in America is doing well,
Okay.
But what? The Republicans paid a picture that the economy is not well, and they reminded people that Trump gave them $600. All they remember is the $600 Trump gave them.
Okay.
So we have to be careful, my brother. A lot of people that are lying to that party have to be careful. There's nothing saying that's because you could have bought your vehicle. But even me, I have a vehicle that I bought before the elections. But people that did not see me fit. What's I will lay when we pay how the other gas up part 2 or have machine left. Election. You understand?
Yes.
My brother, perception. And we, some of the people, I'm saying that, my brother, with a passion, some of the person that are affiliated and close to this Labour Party, and probably some of them that don't even work as hard as me and others. Okay?
Okay.
Tone down. Tone down.
Okay. I read your Facebook page, and you seem to be suggesting that there is something major bombshell that's going to break and burst this week.
How we go?
Gaso dimo ba soufflon ba so.
Well, mo soufflon ba so you me sou beaucoup my private.
Okay, all right. Okay, papi.
All right.
Okay, this is the real issues. After this first call of ours, let's take a commercial break, and we'll be back shortly for more calls, and I'll be reading some of your messages from the Facebook Live.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains, and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains, and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild. The power to heal, the future of pain relief.
If you recently submitted a claim to the National Insurance Corporation, you also need to submit your financial account information to get paid. All NIC benefit claims are now paid conveniently through your local financial institution. To provide your bank or credit union account information, simply log on to the NIC website at www.stlucianic.org. Click the Financial Account Information tab and fill out the form. It's that easy. You only submit once. Ensure you enter the details of an open, active account in your name. If you do not have access to the internet, visit any NIC office to collect a financial account information form. Help us to help you. NIC, for the benefit of us all.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM. The man.
This is the real issues. You're on the
Hello,
air. Go
Shelton,
ahead.
good evening.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm okay. You know the voice.
Yeah,
What
all
this
right.
gentleman said that is so true. When things are going well, you'll always get people shouting. You know what they're all about? The wall of justice, all of justice. They do not want it built, but I find the Prime Minister should go ahead. I think things are moving a bit too slow on that line. And ensure that St. Jude's finish. The people are not happy, you know. Progress is in the country. I remember they were talking about the hospital. I was a patient at the hospital. I'm a nurse. Things were bad. Every blood test I had to pay outside service. Every scan I had to be done at Tapio. I had to pay for it. There were lots of doctors, but there were too many. Now I find they're more effective. Numbers doesn't mean more, it's quality. Things are going on well. So the roads have been fixed, the roads have been patched. So when people are getting on, some of them were talking. People don't want to talk. They treated people so badly in the medical health. I don't see why they're talking now and saying call election, because people don't want to talk. Some of us were forced out by their aggressive behavior. Today I'm hearing them on the TV talking as though they are so good. Some of these people, I don't even want to see them on TV. Sheldon, when we meet personally, I'll tell you about some of them. These people have no shame. God have to punish them, you know. They treat big men like dogs. They treat the nurses like dogs, and today they are talking they want power again. Sorry. No pa fleyo. No pa fleyo. All these people think because Donald Trump win the election in the States. Let me tell you, God have a way of doing things, you know. What is wrong with them? They row like that. Things are going well in the country for the poor people, for the marginalized ones, for the middle class ones. I mean, I'm retired. I mean, I don't depend on government, but I wish that government was there when I was working. I would have stayed until I'm 100 years because I feel I had enough energy to work. The people force you out with bad treatment. If they do something wrong and you talk, they will come on duty, call emergency meeting to frustrate you, insult you. Today they want to talk as though they are They might be in charge of the Catholic Church, but they're not in charge of the government. They're not in charge of the people. And the government better continue the building they put opposite the Catholic Church.
Who's in charge of the Catholic Church?
The person who feel they are in charge of the Catholic Church was then the Pope. I'm not mentioning nobody's name.
Because to me, the Catholic Church has a distinctive hierarchy to it. That's what I keep saying.
Yeah, but that person think they're more important than the Catholic Church because the Pope seems to be giving them every wish they have.
Okay.
So what Pope? They don't see. I mean, render to Caesar the things that are Caesar.
Right.
God said so. So the Catholic is doing his thing, the government is doing its own. So why you have to stop the building? The person is just jealous. They are jealous. They can never come back there. Goodbye, Shelton.
All right, my friend. Thank you very much for your very impassioned contribution. 487-9849 and 4533-911 is the number to dial. Let me look at the Facebook Live. and see some of the comments that are there. So Lance James, good afternoon to you, says there are too many colonialist racists in governments worldwide. SMDH, I think stands for Shake My Damn Head. She adds, that is not the will of God at all. The January 6th attack should have disqualified him from running for president, criminal Trump. And, the will of God is something that sometimes it gets people angry when you tell them, that nothing will happen if God did not want it to happen or let it happen for his own purpose, his own sovereign will that many of us don't understand. But we have a call on the line again. Good afternoon. Real Issues.
Yes,
Hello.
good afternoon, and how do you do, sir?
I'm doing okay. How about you?
Oh, I just finished having my lunch in my Junior Creole bash.
You're having a Junior Creole bash? You're having a Junior Creole bash now?
I ate in a bash, calabash.
Okay, get you.
My calabash came from all the way Togo, Africa.
Well, you're not a patriotic person. How you could be a St. Lucian and you get in calabash all the way from Togo, Africa?
I have 2 small calabashes that I drink my coffee and my tea in. I don't drink in mug.
So why is that Togo calabash you have and not a St. Lucian one? All right, it seems that her internet is being a bit... Did we get another call coming over that one? Is the other person still on the line? Let's try to get the other one. Hi, caller. Good afternoon. Real Issues.
Good afternoon, Shelton.
Yeah, good afternoon to you.
I have one thing to tell Shat.
You have what?
I have something.
Speak up a bit. Yeah.
I have one suggestion to give Shasne, Spider, and Fede. If they say they man or they strong, I want them to do the party, not UWP. Name the party they're going to make another name and leave UWP alone, because they're making UWP look too bad. That's not the UWP that I know. So I want to tell them to go and have their own party, form an own party by themselves, the 3 of them, and leave UWP alone, please. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. All right, NATO cannot depend on France and these countries. If the US pull out, is nada that will be left, says Jomo Leopold. And them European countries like France, Germany, UK, Holland, etc. afraid of wars, says Anthony Mondesi. Jomo replies, but I tell you, is nada, nothing that will be left. We have another call on the line. Good afternoon. Real Issues. Hello.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Daniel.
Yeah, the phone internet seemed to be problematic. Go ahead.
Yeah, what I was saying earlier on, when I saw the thickness of the calabash in Togo, I asked my buddy to send me a calabash and send me some seeds. Même si ça descend en bas, moi, ça n'y peut planter cette ici.
Okay. So just
it
now,
is as thick as it look like a clay pot.
So just now, all St. Lucia will have Togo calabash.
No. I'm not going to sell it to St. Lucians. I'm going to export it.
Okay. Try to make it grow in Canada.
No, Canada pas même grow lettuce.
All right, my friend, go ahead.
Yeah, let's get to the nitty-gritty. I saw a doctor on Facebook running her mouth. Hello. Moi asi we sa madame la di pour moi plus bonheur. Ça c'est yon c'est moun qui really traite moun mal. Parce que un jour moi te set ici moi ouais madame ça la fait un bagay. La teni un accident le highway vieux fort. Ou ça vle nan accident set ici. Tout moun curious kakouye ouais ça qui fait. Madame là qui rive dernier as un docteur il sorti à travail vieux fort. Ou assurer que madame était là avant et que c'est mon vinn surround li. Come on, give me room, let me. Si ouais c'est boys moi était là avec moi te ni idée comment moi dit on attaquer yo di man qui bail en chance. Madame la ka traiter moun en de profession kon chien. Il ka traiter moun de wa kon chien. Il ka attaquer tout le monde comme si c'est un mongrel qui ni comme un petit qui fait. Let me say something to you. She's in the medical field. And to hear her talk, how things are so bad. But she wasn't talking when people were sleeping on cardboard. On cardboard at Victoria Hospital. She didn't talk about it, she was there. We have to be very careful with these people. Don't give them a chance for them to yap. Don't give them a chance. Mais moi, Donald Trump passé. Mais tropical Trump pas passé. On dit, Chris, tout ça, il passe à acheter, il a volé. Il passe à voler ça a 3 fois pour y voler. Pour qu'à cause de ce moment, et que, point qu'on y vient.
Okay.
Have a good day, Sheldon.
Yeah, thank you very much. Okay. 4879849 and 4533911. Victor Edward, good afternoon to you. Says Denry had some heavy rain during the night also. All right, thanks for letting us know. He says floodwaters of the 60s are not what we have today. I fully agree with you. It's a lot more, in that water, contamination and so on that we have to be wary of. We have a caller on the line. Good afternoon. Real Issues. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, I'm hearing you now. Go ahead.
Shelton?
Yes, go ahead. I'm hearing you. I'm answering you.
I'm barely hearing you, but...
All right, let me see. Are you hearing me any better now?
I am hearing you much improved now.
Okay, all right. Okay, go ahead. I wasn't aware that, studio mics, that you had to be so close to them for them to pick you up, so I don't know what's happening.
A good thing I didn't know that. Let me tell you, Shelton, I don't remember if I said good afternoon. I'm already getting to that point, okay? But good afternoon anyway.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you.
Do you honestly believe that the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, the current Prime Minister of St. Lucia, would go to Dominica or any other Caribbean island for that matter and ring an election bell for St. Lucia?
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, he would ring the election bell. He would ring the election bell in St. Lucia for St. Lucians.
Exactly. I mean, there was a bell and the man was in a mood of excitement. He was the featured speaker. There ain't nothing wrong with ringing a bell. There's a particular individual that rings the bell so much he's nicknamed.
He's ring the bell.
That. Is he ringing a bell for elections? I don't know if he used to sell ice cream. I don't know what you're ringing the bell for. But we like to take the little things and make them big things. Now here's what I know. Whether you flubber, whether you labor, you must always get yourself ready for elections. That is the responsibility of the constituency branch. Now we are complaining about a lot of things, especially communications. Now, no matter how great or good or possible you believe communications from within the Prime Minister's office may be, there is the trickle-down effect that's not impacting the base. I don't know who to blame for that, but there is the constituency group executive who is supposed to be getting ready and making things, or organizing things for an election. We're approaching the 4th year, Shelton. Okay? We have on every constituency branch executive is supposed to be a communications officer or PRO. The information from government on policies that are working, that have worked, that are implemented should be trickling down from the Prime Minister's office or from the government's offices down to the Labour Party hierarchy, down to the constituency group executive, and the base will get the information. But if it is not happening like that, okay, we cannot blame other people if we're not doing what we should do on the constituency level. Okay? Yes, Minister, candidates are elected as members of parliament first. Then they become ministers of government, and they have responsibility to the states, and then they put people in place to do certain things. And if these people are not functioning, then they should resign or be taken off. But too often we blame the members of parliament for things that are not being done. And you know the other thing we are quick to do? We're quick to run to social media and the media to say, I talked to Mate already and I'm not voting for Mate again, and then this and then that. They have offices. Go to those offices. And if you cannot speak to the MP, there is a constituency group chairman. Find him. State your issue and ensure that it trickles back to the MP. We need to start getting our houses in order. That is the purpose of AGM. On a constituency level.
You know something, Cornelia. I don't know if you'll agree with me. I believe too many of us.
I'm not hearing.
Yeah, I said I believe too many of us, we are seriously overrating social media in terms of the amount of people that we believe it reaches and the demographic. We believe that because young people, mostly young people, and of course older people, who are high energy people who are out there are into social media, that everybody is. There are some people who are just not into Facebook and WhatsApp and those things. Is the town hall, is the AGM, is the... So we have to find a way to filter information to them.
Find a way to filter the information to the base.
Yes.
When was the last constituency town hall anyway that you heard of? When? These are the things that we need to see about, and we need to inform people of what's happening on a constituency level. And that is where the constituency executive comes in. And then they accept the fact or they allow the MPs to be bashed everywhere, saying here doing nothing. And when you watch based on what is given or comes out of the Prime Minister's.
You there?
What is happening? So we need to fix this on a party level.
Okay.
Thank you, Shelton. All
right. Thank you very much. Juliana Abraham, good afternoon to you. Says Shelton, well said. Love your show today. We need to be more logical. Why are we now afraid? Like I said, I suspect that Donald Trump thing in the States, it has some people freaked out. And I believe they are drawing the parallel that if Trump could come back, Shasta could come back. And, they're beginning to, to start to...
Good afternoon, Shelton.
Yeah, good afternoon to you. How are you?
Fine, thank you, my brother. I would like to just highlight a few utterances, and I would like us patriotic citizens to meditate on it, to ponder on it, and then form their own conclusion.
Yeah.
The first one is, Shelton, stop it. It is not your job. It is not your role to tell the government how to run the country. You are only a component of the government. Stop it. Slavery has a conscience. Ma paie personne pour faire crime ba moi. Si ben pour faire crime, na fait crime moi-même. I'm not paying no one to do crime for me. But if I have to do crime, I'm doing it by myself. And that was said by a minister of government who also is a minister of the gospel. Shelton, you have lost the right to speak. You lost the right to speak. Keep going. Money a laptop. Keep going. Money asa. Keep going money asa. And if we do not finish St. Jude by a particular time, we are not fit to remain in government. These, my brothers and sisters, these are a few utterances I would like you all to meditate upon.
Let me ask you something. The person who said that if we do not finish St. Jude in this term, we do not deserve to be in government. Why is he trying to come back in government again? He's trying to ride on the back of the other side's success in finishing St. Jude. Now that the other side has done it, he want to ride. He want to.
That is why I would like us to meditate upon these occurrences.
Okay.
but the one that really steals that cake, and I want it to echo in the ears of our people, is Mape Pearson. Shelton, that is a statement I want us to think about, Mape Pearson pour faire crime me. But si many pour faire crime, n'a fait crime me. Shelton, have a good day.
All right, thank you very much. Robinson Ferdinand, good afternoon to you. He says, Mr. Shelton, those words about Shasni I rebuke strongly. I don't know what words you're referring to. So maybe you can clarify with a follow-up message. Jomo Leopold says Shelton has been pushing that if Trump wins, Shasni will be energized. Yeah, they'll feel that, the whole right-wing conservative kind of solidarity they think they have with Trump and so on, Lima Group type of thing. Jomo Leopold says, I don't believe that. Despite everything you can say about Trump, the man is a nationalist who will push for his country and people. Shasni is a doofus who just want power. All right, okay. Jean Francis Francois, good afternoon to you, says Shelton, you'll be surprised at the number of people who have no cable TV at their homes, and many have no TV, can't see them using their phones to find info either, and so many have to keep topping up over and over. All right, thank you very much. Like I said, we have to understand that not because we live in a world where we have technology at our fingertips, the smartphone and the iPhone and the social media and Facebook, for us to assume that this is the norm, that this is par for the course for everybody or so on. We have to understand there are people. I don't know how to define them. They might be farmers, they might be bus drivers, they might be this. But social media and Facebook and all of that and Snapchat and TikTok and Instagram and all that, they just end their thing. They need a different kind of information access and information dissemination that will reach them, that can I'm not saying they don't have a phone or they're totally out of touch with it, but it's just not really their thing. There's a generational thing, there's an educational thing, there's a social thing connected to a lot of those kinds of platforms and the people who use them and are plugged into them almost all the time. We have a call on the line. Good afternoon.
Shelton, I missed a point. I had to call you back.
Okay.
Shelton, I'm concerned about the minister for answering. He must come on the early more often. He must have a little more town hall meetings. And I can't tell you why, but when I meet with you, he has to make an appearance. Take, for instance, Honorable Richard Frederick. Everybody knows him. We are pleading with him. I'm hearing these complaints. Be with the people. Have town hall meeting. It's not only at Parliament you want to hear his voice. He might be doing a good job, but he has to come out more forceful than that. Goodbye.
All right. Thank you very much.
Right.
Cecilia Allen says, God would want a man like Trump in the White House, an admitted pussy grabber, a man who has many grudges and they act on them. So how did he get to be in the White House if God doesn't want him there? Who put him there? Is the devil more powerful than God and so on, We need to understand that the sovereign will of God doesn't work according to our assessments all the time and our, how we reason and all of that and so on. I think we lost that call. Sorry about that, caller. You seem to have been on a very short leash. My apologies. I thought I would have time get to you finishing my sentence. Good afternoon, Paul Gilbert, Teresa Alcey, Donan Jabatis, and I think Andrew Lashley. Yeah, good afternoon to you as well. Anson Maxwell, who says people are very petty on a variety of nothing. Jude Poksalu, good afternoon to you as well for being here with us on the program. Jerry Francis, Sabina Fontenelle, and Ken Joseph as well. We have just a couple more minutes to go. I think we can take a couple more calls if you're economical about it. 487-9849 and 4533-911 are the numbers to dial to get through to the program before we wrap up in, like I said, just a couple of minutes at 2 o'clock this afternoon. All right. I don't want to go into any theology about the will of God and so on. I believe, most of us would have understood that. Good afternoon to Mahoney Oje, who says, the detractors are adamant that the progress must not be allowed to continue. Shastny said it best when he asserted that if St. Jude Hospital is allowed to be completed, crap will smoke his pipe. And I think this is the case. The United Workers' Party is itself spooked and freaked out by the accomplishments of the government, what the government is doing, the progress and the pace at which the government is accomplishing those things. I think it's really rattling the UWP that if those guys continue at the pace they're doing and accomplishing those things, halls of justice, St. Jude Hospital, this, that, the other, that, we don't have a prayer of a chance of coming back. And I believe they are on a campaign, a rampage, as I like to call it, to discredit and discount everything that the government is doing. But what they don't realize is that they're making themselves look utterly ridiculous, because by doing so, they are portraying and casting themselves as enemies of progress. We have a call on the line. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Real Issues, you're on the air.
Hi, good afternoon.
You're on the air, go ahead.
Yeah, it's good. It's nice to hear nice to hear from Mr. John Peters that as of next month, which is December, commencement for works on the Hall of Justice will begin and should be finishing like 2 years, 24 months. And I suppose maybe not even a flood could have stopped it. Another thing I also need to mention is that there should be a lot more communication coming from the various ministries. Like, so every ministry have a communications officer. They're supposed to have it. And I still find there's not much information given out by those communications officers in the different ministries, at least giving people an update of what's going on, where you can go to find different things. Examples like, especially Ministry of Equity, find so many people sometimes are seeking assistance and all of those things. But yet the communications officer from that ministry, you don't seem to be getting much from them advising people as to how to go about getting things, where to go, and it's just different ministries on the whole. So I think a lot more of this should be done. And the last is for the people that are supposed to be supporting government. They say they are supporters of the party and everything like that. At the end of the day, sometimes when you put the government in power, it's not about you and your needs being taken care of because of your vote. I think too many times people do that, and if they cannot get their way, to me they just become like political snipers, ready to destroy by all means. To them, it's not about putting a government in place for proper governance, to see that things are going right, to see that not some, but all are being taken care of. And when they do not get their way or do not want what they want, then they're just like snipers. Come on. If you vote a party because you want to see progress, you want to see a turnaround. You don't want the same of what was there before. And yet, when I hear people do those things, it's really upsets me. That is what we're all about, just for our personal needs and for us to gain. And these things are not right.
Thank you. Thank you very much, caller. And with that, I think we'll wrap up the Real Issues for today, our first program for the week. God willing, all things equal, we'll do it again, same time tomorrow from 12:30 until 2 on Real FM Radio, NBC Television, simulcasting, Facebook Live and YouTube live streaming. On behalf of Alton Jaquan Joseph, our technical operator, Shelton Daniel, signing out.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real Issues, 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains, and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains, and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild. The power to heal, the future of pain relief.